Hello, friends. The year 1945. On December 5th, at 2:10 in the afternoon, 5 torpedo bomber aircraft of the U.S. Navy took off from Florida. This mission was called Flight 19. It was a 3-hour-long routine training mission. It wasn't anything special, they were simply flying to conduct their regular training missions. There were 14 crew members on the flight, led by their flight leader, a highly experienced pilot and war veteran. These 5 planes flew east from Florida. Everything was normal, the weather was clear. But about 2 hours after the takeoff, their squadron leader reported that there were sudden problems in their compass. Their compass stopped working. They took out their backup compass, but the backup compass failed too. They couldn't determine their actual position. They asked the pilots of the other planes, but their instruments were malfunctioning too. Lieutenant Charles Carroll Taylor was the squadron leader. After the compass broke down, utterly confusing messages were sent over radio transmission. The weather started worsening. At 4:56 in the evening, Taylor believed that their planes were flying over the Gulf of Mexico and that they needed to fly east to get back to Florida. So he commanded the rest of the planes to fly east. But some of the crew aboard the flight believed that they were already flying east of Florida and that they needed to fly westwards. Right after this order, one of those planes sent a radio transmission saying they believed they had to fly westwards to get back home. But the weather continued to worsen. It was soon sunset, and then came the darkness of night. At this point it is believed that the planes were actually 370 kilometers east of Florida. At 7:04 p.m., we received the last radio transmission from Taylor. After this, all 5 planes were lost forever. To this day, we have no clue about these planes. Where are they? What happened to them? After the disappearance of Flight 19, a search and rescue Mariner aircraft took off with a crew of 13 people. They were on the mission to find Flight 19. But while looking for them, they too disappeared. First, 14 people of Flight 19 disappeared, and then 13 people of the Mariner search and rescue aircraft. For days after this, a large-scale air and sea search operation was carried out, one of the largest search operations of the time, to look for both of these flights. But they could find nothing. Neither did they find the body of any person, nor any part of the aircraft. Everything had disappeared. Interestingly, the area where both planes disappeared is today known as the Bermuda Triangle. We don't know which way is west. Over the past 50 years, 3,000 ships and 100 planes have gone missing in a mysterious stretch of water in the Atlantic Ocean. Ships have gone missing, planes have gone missing. Known as the Devil's Triangle, a source of intrigue, legend, and fear, this is the Bermuda Triangle. Where is the Bermuda Triangle? The Bermuda Triangle is said to be a very mysterious part of the ocean. There, more than 100 aircraft and ships have disappeared, never to be found again. This area lies between Florida in the USA, Puerto Rico, and the country Bermuda in the north. It forms a triangular area like this. Overall, this area spans more than 500,000 square miles. Tales of the Bermuda Triangle are older than 500 years. In 1492, when Christopher Columbus set out to find the New World, he reported that when he was passing by this area, his compass stopped working. And one night, when he looked at the sky from his ship, he saw a weird light. A strange light that looked like a ball of fire. And he saw that ball of fire fall out of the sky into the ocean. This was the beginning of the mystery. Over the next few eras, several names were given to this area: the Graveyard of the Atlantic, the Sea of Doom, Sargasso Graveyard. These names were used in the 18th and 19th centuries. But the name, Bermuda Triangle, was used for the first time in 1964. In a magazine called Argosy, there was an article by Vincent H. Gaddis in 1964 titled, "The Deadly Bermuda Triangle." This was the first time the phrase Bermuda Triangle was used. In this article, many disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle over the last several decades were summarized. The author tried to link them all, creating a mystery and claiming that there is something peculiar in this area of the ocean, because of which so many aircraft and ships disappear. Although, there were no explanations in the article as to why it happened. But this made the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle the most popular at the time. So popular that many books were written on it. Many films and computer games were made, and there were even songs about the Bermuda Triangle. USS Cyclops Mystery. Talking about some other incidents, there was another horrifying incident in the year 1918. It involved the USS Cyclops, one of the biggest and fastest ships of the U.S. Navy at the time. It was a very important asset for the American Navy, especially when America began taking part in World War I. It was used to transport troops and coal. On March 4, 1918, 306 people were aboard the USS Cyclops. From a city near Washington called West Indies, Baltimore, this ship began its journey towards Brazil. Other than people, this ship was carrying 11,000 tons of manganese. The journey was supposed to take 9 days. Everything was fine with the departure of the ship, the weather was clear. But after this ship began its journey, there was no further news from it. It had disappeared suddenly. This shocked everyone. One of the biggest ships of the U.S. Navy, a ship this huge, how could it disappear so suddenly? Mystery of Ellen Austin. If you think that this incident was mysterious, a more daunting and frightful incident was the Ellen Austin mystery. In the year 1881, a 210 feet long ship, the Ellen Austin, traveling from London to New York, encountered an unidentified ship near the Bermuda Triangle area. From the outside, this unidentified ship looked completely normal, but there was no trace of any humans aboard. There was no crew, no people at all. The captain of Ellen Austin decided to go aboard the ship to see what had happened. First, he brought his ship alongside this unidentified ship and waited for 2 days to see if there was any response. But there was none. After 2 days, the captain set foot on the unidentified ship. There was a lot of stuff on this new ship, and everything was in place. Pirates used to be a concern at the time, but this unidentified ship hadn't been attacked, as all the valuable items were intact. The captain of Ellen Austin decided to send some of his crew members aboard this ship to continue their journey with both ships. For the first 2 days, both ships continued ahead normally. But then came a storm. Their paths separated, and the unidentified ship disappeared. After the storm was over, the captain tried to look for the ship. He spotted it with his spyglass at a distance. When he reached near it, there was again no trace of any human aboard the ship. The crew members from his ship had suddenly disappeared. Where did they go? What happened to them? We don't know. But the ship was still intact. It's said that the captain of Ellen Austin tried once again to bring the ship with him and sent more crew members to steer it, but again, after a few days, another storm came, and the same story repeated. The unidentified ship got separated, and the new crew members disappeared once again. When Ellen Austin returned, the owner of the ship was so terrified after hearing this story that he sold off the ship to a German company. They changed the name of this ship to Meta. Yes, that's right, like how Mark Zuckerberg renamed Facebook to Meta, this ship, too, was renamed Meta.